In the vast, frozen expanse of the north, a fractured land once known as the Rus awaited its unification. Scattered across the endless steppes, the Rus principalities were vulnerable to foreign invaders and internal rivalries. Over centuries, one city would rise above the rest, and one title, Tsar, would come to embody the destiny of a nation. This is the story of how Russia emerged from chaos to become a centralized state of rulers who wielded absolute power to reshape their land. From the ashes of Mongol domination to the rise of Moscow, and from the ambitions of Ivan the Great to the reign of Ivan the Terrible, this episode lays the foundation for the rise of an empire. By the 12th century, the lands of the Rus were a mosaic of city-states. Kiev, Novgorod, and Vladimir were centers of trade, culture, and Orthodox Christianity. Yet, their wealth and independence concealed a fatal flaw: fragmentation. While other kingdoms in Europe were consolidating under strong monarchies, the Rus were divided among rival princes. This disunity left them vulnerable to a storm from the east. In 1237, the Mongol horde, led by Batu Khan, swept into the Rus lands. City after city fell to the invaders. Kiev, the jewel of the Rus, was reduced to ashes in 1240. The Mongols imposed a system of tribute, forcing the Rus princes into submission. This period, known as the Mongol Yoke, reshaped the Rus politically and culturally. Yet, even under this domination, seeds of resilience were being planted. One city, Moscow, began to rise as a beacon of hope. Its strategic location near trade routes allowed it to grow in wealth, while its princes, through careful diplomacy and alliances with the Mongols, gained influence over their rivals. By the late 14th century, Moscow was poised to challenge the Mongols. In 1380, Dmitry Donskoy led a coalition of Rus forces to a symbolic victory at the Battle of Kulikovo. Though the Mongols would continue to demand tribute, the myth of their invincibility had been shattered. A century later, under Ivan III, known as Ivan the Great, Moscow declared its independence. In 1480, Ivan's forces faced the Mongols at the Ugra River in a tense standoff. Without a single battle, the Mongols retreated, ending their dominance over the Rus lands. But Ivan's ambitions extended beyond the battlefield. In 1472, he married Sofia Palaiologina, a Byzantine princess and niece of the last emperor of Constantinople. Through this union, Ivan claimed the legacy of Byzantium. Moscow, he declared, was the third Rome, the spiritual and political successor to Rome and Constantinople. To symbolize this newfound status, Ivan adopted the double-headed eagle, the emblem of the Byzantine Empire, as the official crest of Moscow. One head looked to the east and the other to the west, representing unity between the spiritual and temporal realms. In 1547, Ivan IV, the grandson of Ivan the Great, became the first ruler to be crowned Tsar of All Rus. At just 16 years old, Ivan declared himself not merely a prince, but an autocrat chosen by God. This title elevated the Russian ruler above all others, combining political and spiritual authority. Ivan IV's early reign was marked by ambition and reform. He introduced a new legal code, reorganized the military, and convened the Zemsky Sobor, Russia's first national assembly of representatives. These measures strengthened the state and laid the groundwork for future expansion. Ivan's greatest military achievements came with the conquest of the Tatar Khanates of Kazan and Astrakhan. These victories opened new trade routes and brought the Volga region under Russian control, marking a turning point in the empire's territorial growth. But Ivan's later years were defined by paranoia and brutality. Following the death of his wife, Anastasia, Ivan grew distrustful of the boyars, Russia's noble class. He established the Oprichnina, a state within a state, granting his secret police unchecked power to root out treason. In 1581, Ivan struck his own son in a fit of rage, killing the heir apparent. This tragic act left Russia with a weak and childless successor, Fyodor I. When Ivan died in 1584, he left behind a centralized but unstable state. Fyodor's reign was short and ineffective. Without strong leadership, the power of the Tsar weakened, and rival factions began to vie for control. When Fyodor died in 1598 without an heir, it ended the Rurik dynasty, plunging Russia into chaos. This period, known as the Time of Troubles, would last for nearly 2 decades. Civil war, foreign invasions, and famine brought the Russian state to the brink of collapse. Yet, from this darkness, a new dynasty would emerge, the Romanovs, who would restore stability and lead Russia into a new era. The rise of the Tsars transformed Russia from a collection of fractured city-states into a centralized power. Yet, the ambitions of Ivan the Terrible and the legacy of his successors left the state both powerful and precarious. In the next episode, we'll delve into the time of troubles, a period of upheaval that tested the very survival of the Russian state, and the emergence of the Romanovs, who would restore order and lead Russia into a new age. Join us as we continue this epic journey through the history of the Tsars. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us uncover the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.